Hello and welcome to the Whoniverse. In this video, as part of a series of videos about the history of Doctor Who, I'm going to be taking a look at the history of the Autons and their creators, the Nestene. Now, the Nestene are creatures that invade planets with a strategy which often involves the use of the ability to control specially manufactured plastics. The plastics controlled include a range of forms, but the most well known are the Autons. The Autons have the basic humanoid appearance, often manifesting as shop window dummies. The Autons are deadly with hidden weaponry in their hand, and the Auton and Nestene or Nestene consciousness have tried to invade numerous planets. But how does their story start? Well, at the beginning of the universe, Shub Negurath came into N-space from the previous universe, pregnant. She was able to deliver her child on Polymos, who infused into the entire planet and became the Nestene consciousness. The Nestene's original appearance was that of an octopus-like nature. Before transcending their bodies to become pure energy, the Nestenes proceeded to send out swarms to other planets for invasion and colonization. The Nestenes once fought the Time Lords, who managed to contain them in the Elia galaxy. Razalon then destroyed the Nestenes using a galaxy eater, but was aware that some would survive, but would never again be at the power they once were. The consciousness led by the Nestene High Command had been invading planets for 1,000 million years. When they first arrived on Earth, mankind had yet to evolve into what it is today. The Nestene saw nothing of importance to them, so they left. During Greek times, the Nestenes returned, realised there was nothing to take control of, and left, promising to come back in a few thousand years. Following this, in 102 AD, the Nestene were among the factions who joined the Alliance. They came to Stonehenge and helped imprison the 11th Doctor in the Pandorica in order to save the universe. As well as the spaceships, they also created a legion of Autons disguised as Roman soldiers. These Autons, believing themselves to be genuine Roman soldiers, tricked the Doctor, who realised too late what they were, and imprisoned him in the Pandorica. When the plan failed, the Autons and the Nestene were turned to dust and removed from the universe along with the rest of creation, except for an Auton copy of Rory Williams, who rebelled against his nature and tried to help the Doctor. They were returned when the Doctor managed to reset the universe. In the late 20th century, development of plastics by humans created opportunities for invasions of Earth. One invasion was coordinated by a swarm leader known as Channing. Channing took over Autoplastics and arranged for standard Autons to be mass-produced and placed in shops across Britain. Channing also obtained a contract from Madame Tussauds to make plastic waxworks of key government and military leaders. The attack was coordinated first thing in the morning. The Autons broke out of the shops to attack key strategic positions, whilst the facsimiles helped soften resistance. Unfortunately for the Autons, the third Doctor and UNIT had found their base and rigged a device to destroy the Autons and the Nestene with any remains stored by UNIT. Some months later, the Nestene made an alliance with the renegade Time Lord known as the Master. Although the Nestene used standard Autons for this operation, the assault relied on deadly plastic daffodils. The third Doctor convinced the Master to stop his alliance with the Nestene, as the Nestene would not distinguish between the Master and anyone else in their takeover, and the two worked together to fling the Nestene back into space by changing the polarity. This caused the Autons to stop functioning. In the year 2005, the Nestenes had lost their food planets in a war, so their intention was to overthrow and destroy the human race, as Earth was ideal for their consumption needs, being filled with smoke, oil, and various pollutants. When the 9th Doctor came to investigate, it sent Autons to try and stop him. When Rose Tyler got in the way, it also sent an Auton duplicate of her boyfriend Mickey Smith to try and find out more. The Doctor removed the Auton Mickey's head to track down and confront the Nestene consciousness. When the Nestene thought it was in danger, it activated the Autons to go on a rampage. Rose Tyler eventually defeated them by knocking a vial of anti-plastic solution that one of the Autons had confiscated from the 9th Doctor into the vat of molten plastic, which housed the main bulk of the consciousness, causing it to explode. Part of the Nestene consciousness from the late 70s and early 80s resurfaced in 2013. Autons placed in Hyperville by Miss Devonshire, and the Nestene helped with the attempted takeover of Earth. Among the normal Autons there were several varieties, such as Autons which could stretch their heads about a meter, an incredibly strong Auton known as B4 which could strangle victims, and Auton replicas. All the Autons were destroyed by the Doctor and Kate. In the same year, with the absence of the Doctor, the Autons almost conquered Earth with the help of a businessman, Simon Devlin. However, with the full global force of UNIT, the Autons failed. In the 101st century, the Nestene consciousness was attempting to completely leave Polymos, after an invasion by the Time Lords. It chose the New Earth Republic and attempted to transport its entire body to the Reef Station 1 with the help of Walter J. Mason. It was stopped by the 6th Doctor, who trapped it in a body of an advanced Auton. The Nestene and the Autons were present at the siege of Trenzalore, as the 11th Doctor speculated that the Nestene housed itself inside one of the spaceships orbiting Trenzalore by sending Autons to hijack the ships. The Autons later parachuted into Trenzalore, their weapons being removed to get past the Papal mainframe's technology barrier, initially trying to grab the Doctor from his home in Christmas and taking him to his death, but they were blown off, of course, by the crosswinds. The Nestene came up with a new plan and tried leading the Doctor into a trap in the Devil's Elbows Canyon in the Outland, but the Doctor blew up the lifeboat with boronite, and the lifeboat sunk to the bottom of the lake, while the Autons were still on board. One Auton was able to escape, but when it grabbed the Doctor's wooden leg, it struggled to hold on to the slab of ice. The Doctor forcibly unbuckled the leg from his body, and the Auton fell to the bottom of the lake as well. And that is the history of the Autons as we know it. There are other spin-off media containing the Autons, such as the Auton trilogy of films. However, these films are not licensed by the BBC and do not feature any of the main characters from Doctor Who, so are often classed as non-canon or semi-canon, meaning they're not on the list. If you want information on these films, I'll leave the link in the description. So with that, it's the end of the video. If you have any suggestions of what characters or creatures you want to see the history of next, please leave them in the comments below. And if you want to keep up to date with my latest videos, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.